What's up, folks? This is Justin, and you are listening to the Welcome to Your Doom Show. This is episode number 72, and Atul and I are getting caught up after a nice long hiatus and are talking about movies that we are looking forward to in the latter part of the summer as well as the early fall. Those movies include Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, The Crow remake, I guess, retelling. I don't know how they're branding it, but whatever it is, The Crow with Bill Skarsgård, and several others. Oh, there's also a little movie called Deadpool and Wolverine being released, and we talk about that as well a little bit. So buckle up, hold on to your butts, as Samuel L. Jackson would say, and enjoy this episode. Thank you very much, as always, for listening and sticking with us, as well as if you're watching on YouTube, you get to see us in the flesh. But anyways, on with the episode. Ladies and gentlemen.
Welcome to your doom.
All right. How do we normally start?
We can start this like we start most of our chats. Hey, fuck you.
That's a good opener.
Yeah.
Like, it's a good opener because I don't know how long it's been since the last time we recorded, but hi everyone. This is the Welcome to Your Doom Show. My name is Atul, one of your Harbingers of Doom, and my assistant is Justin Carcassoli.
Still not like
the second Harbinger.
Justin Carcassoli the second.
Yeah, right.
I'm junior.
You know,
my father was Justin. What?
Whenever I'm filling out forms online, if you're applying for a credit card or I don't know, stuff like that, or even like
sex change,
I guess, like you're typing in your name, and then there's that like designation that you can put in it, and I always click. I'm like, what the hell is this? I click it, and it's like just Roman numerals.
Yeah.
It's like the second or the third, and you're allowed to actually select it from a list.
Yeah.
I've just been very tempted sometimes to be like, how dope would it be just like to be called Atul Kachru the second? It's kind of cool. It's like Yahya Abdul Mateen the second. His name is dope, and that is just doper because it's got the second at the end.
So the second's cool, but the problem is the second really means junior. So like, that's people that are called junior that are just like, don't like it. I'm going to go with the second because that sounds better, right? I'd go with Esquire, dude. Justin Carcassoli.
Okay, I'm going to come back to Esquire in a second. What would Indiana Jones's name be if they followed? Because he calls him, like Sean Connery calls Indy Junior, like the whole movie.
Yeah.
So do you think it would have been
Junior?
What's his name? Well, what's his father's name? Do you remember?
Jones Junior.
Yeah.
That's why Indiana.
So he would have Henry. All right. Okay, I give you one more line.
Fuck out of there.
Go.
What?
Go ahead.
What?
Go ahead. I'll give you one more line from the movie. Go ahead. Oh, you can't do it now. You're on the spot. You lost the limelight. All right.
Losers always cry about their best. Winners go home and fuck the Queen, Indiana. That's from that movie, right?
I like how you brought it back right at the end. I was just about to be like, hey, that's not from
the problem.
Indiana Jones, and then you said Indiana at the end. I'm like, no, it is from Indiana Jones.
The problem is you cannot ask me to quote Sean Connery without that being the one and only thing I quote, because it's just such a good line. Such a good line.
Oh, it's a legendary line.
Yeah.
It's a legendary line, along with, what do you want me to do? Kill him again? Yeah, that's a great line too. Like The Rock. Let's just talk about The Rock for a second. I know we went off a crazy tangent, but The Rock is legitimately one of the best action movies ever made.
Yes.
Like, I think it's just as good as Die Hard.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's just as good as some of the biggest like action movies ever made.
Yep.
And there's a Criterion Collection entry for The Rock, and I own it. It's great. The special features are amazing. The outtakes are amazing. I think we've talked about that before. The Rock's amazing. It's by far Michael Bay's best film.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I'd have to look at his whole filmography, but I'm pretty sure. The only other one I was thinking was Armageddon, but that was actually really bad. If I
Armageddon
doesn't hold up.
It's fun.
It's fun.
I think the only other movie I'd put in contention on that level is maybe Bad Boys. The Bad Boys is really good. The first Bad Boys is really good, but
the first one?
Like just a smaller scale. Yeah, you did the first and second one.
Oh, that's right. Okay, I thought. Okay, yeah, I think I got tripped up because other people have been doing. I guess he's been producing, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I think he's just been producing the other ones.
Yeah, I don't
And
know.
he's like Bad Boys. Okay, well, we're about to get to you. I mean, you saw a movie.
Yes.
You were watching a movie recently on Netflix.
Yeah.
What were you watching? What were you just telling me about before we started recording?
I'm only halfway through it, so don't try not to spoil anything for me. But I got back into Beverly Hills Cop because it was there on Netflix. I'm like, you know what? Yeah. I remember liking the Beverly Hills Cops movies. They were niche and, of their time and fun. And I thought, like, let me give this a go. Let me see if it's worth watching. And like halfway through, I'm like, I want to watch all 3 of the originals now because it's just, I don't know. Eddie Murphy is just so likable on screen. His Axel Foley character is just kind of fun. It's just kind of just fun. And it harkens back to like the old silliness of those movies and the time and action movies of those times. Not too serious, completely unbelievable, but just fun. So I dig it so far. I still have to finish it.
Yeah.
But so far I dig it. It also blows my mind that he is the same age as some of the other characters in the movie because the other guys look like weathered pirates and he looks silky smooth. Like, it's crazy how much better he looks at his age than those other fucking guys. It's bad. I was like, oh, man.
I believe it was on this very show that I learned a fact that I'll never forget.
What's that?
Is that black don't crack.
It does not crack. White cracks.
And
very badly. You can see it right here. Right here. I'm cracking in this very screen.
I think the chief character, like the one that's obviously the eldest of the bunch, I think he's actually much older than Eddie Murphy. He must be.
He might
right?
be. Yeah.
I'm just guessing.
You know what though?
Like he would have to be. I'm just actually convincing myself because if that's like, if you've got those two next to each other and you tell me they're the same age, I'm gonna be like, look, I understand black don't crack, but like, this is just defying all laws of physics, right?
Yeah.
Like, come now.
It's really bad. I was going to look it up and then I realized I can't do that, so I'm not going to. But I did see a meme that said it was a picture of like the chief back when it was, I think, probably the first Beverly Hills Cop. And he looks old, dude. Like, he looks like our dads. The image said, like, this man is 35 years old in this image. I'm like, oh my God. Like,
yeah, John Ashton is the name.
Yeah.
And he is born 1948. Do the math on that one.
72 today.
Oh man, I don't know. I wasn't even trying. I was just I'm leaving this one to you. You take care of this one.
24. 76. He'd be 76. Eddie Murphy's not that old.
He's 76.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think Eddie Murphy. Okay. I think he's in his 60s. 60s-ish. I don't know. My guess is
63. 63. Yeah, this guy's got 30. Come on.
It's fair. You know what?
He's
I'm also a sucker.
13 years on him.
I'm a sucker for believing everything that's on the internet. I just think it's
you need to clean it up. You need to clean and get smart. You need to get smart. Okay.
Dun, dun, dun. Okay, so my take on Beverly Hills Cops so far is fun, liking it, good vibe. What is your thoughts on it, good sir?
So I finished watching. I watched it with Shogu, and I just thought it was just stale. I thought the whole movie was super duper stale. I'm not no spoilers or anything. But I wrote a review in Letterboxd. Here's my Letterboxd review. The ultimate Netflix AI legacy sequel. This is a phone movie.
Yeah.
Everyone is tired in this and needs a nap. There is one fun set piece involving a helicopter, but the rest feels like ZZZ, which is sleepy time. For those that don't know what that indicates.
That's what that indicates. Thanks, Chief.
I don't know. I just didn't find Eddie Murphy funny. I think the most compelling people in this movie are some of the new characters.
Yeah.
This is actually where I'm like, I could just be like, hey, if these older people weren't in this movie, maybe this is a little more interesting. But like, I don't know, man. I feel like the direction's really flat.
Yeah.
It's shot without any flair. Eddie's Eddie Murphy's not nearly as funny as he was.
No.
You know, they don't let him rip.
No.
Like, they just don't, or maybe he just doesn't want to. Maybe, you know, like whatever. I haven't seen his other movies, like that on his comeback movies, like Coming to America. I didn't see Dolomite Is My Name, which I heard is very good. I really want to watch that. Actually, after watching this, I'm like, I should want to watch something he's really good in. For me personally, it didn't work. It just felt like everybody was sleeping at the wheel. And it's super polished. But actually, the one thing I will say about the movie that I liked quite a bit is the soundtrack. Lauren Balfe, I believe, is the composer on this, and he's great. And he's done a lot of other scores that I've liked. Namely, I like the score to Black Panther 2.
Mm-hmm.
And he did the score for that too. But this one is very in keeping with the original. The score was very much keeping with the original, like 80s.
Right.
So I enjoyed that. But other than that, it just felt like, oh man, it just felt like everyone was phoning it in, and it was, maybe I gotta watch. I haven't seen the first one in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe I'll go back and watch it. Maybe it's not really what I remember. And the second one is one of the movies that I'm missing in my Tony Scott, watch, basically clearing Tony Scott's entire filmic queue. Oh. Tony Scott directed the second, and John Landis did the third one. Notoriously bad, and I do remember that one because I was old enough to remember that one. Yeah, where they go to the theme park. But yeah, anyway, those are my thoughts on Beverly Hills. Axel Foley, Axel F.
It doesn't have the teeth of the old one. Like, I think that they tried to market it as if it does, and it absolutely doesn't. It just doesn't feel the same.
No.
But I don't know.
I don't think I need them to feel the same, but I do want to have some of that charm. It's the entire original cast. So that's kind of what you're doing, right? I guess you can't help but be compared.
Yeah. The problem is
bringing everyone back.
So to your point where you are saying everybody's sleeping, I tend to agree with you on the original cast. Like the chief and his buddy, I don't know what happened to him. I guess he got kidnapped halfway through, and now you don't know where he's at. But both of them
Judge Reinhold.
Yeah, just seems out of place. Like it feels like they were, kept in storage since the last of these films and have been sitting around until now. And then they dusted them off and they're like, go act like. So yeah, they feel like rigor mortis, like stiff, like it's pretty brutal.
Yeah, it's just.
But
yeah.
And I also like, I could take or leave. What's his face? Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character so far, but he hasn't had a chance to grow on me yet. But I really do like I feel like seeing the Axel Foley character back aged, but he's the same character, just older, and it translates. It doesn't feel like he's trying to reach and be the same kind of character he was before. It doesn't feel like they're trying to do that. It seems like they're trying to have him kind of live in the world where he's, older. He's got more, I guess, more responsibilities for him. Oh, fuck. I've got Buddha over here. He's doing a handstand. Yeah. Buddha was hanging out. Sorry, Buddha.
I can stop over.
But yeah, I generally, it's good.
Well,
I like it.
I mean, yeah.
We'll have to agree to
this movie, and then we can talk about it more.
Okay.
But yeah, one movie I do think did this better is Bad Boys 4. I went to see that in the theater with Shogu, and that's actually a much more energetic, fun film. I think Martin Lawrence's character just does what he does. Wait, you saw Bad Boys 4, right?
No. Dude, I don't get out of the house. Are you fucking kidding me? Go and see a movie.
What's that?
I said I don't get out of the house. Go and see a movie? Right. Are you insane? Come on, North.
Yeah. Anyway, that one, I think, if whenever you get the chance, whenever it's streaming or whatever, just check that one out. I do think it does it better because it's just way more energetic, way more. It doesn't feel like a carbon copy. It still feels like it's trying to do some stuff differently, whereas this one just feels like just a really boring by the numbers, flatly shot, action copy.
Fair enough. I see.
Right.
I see your points. But
all right. So we're going to talk about it. I think it's been a big summer for film already.
Yeah,
there's tons of stuff that I've seen. I think one thing I do want to bring up here that we've both now seen before we get into the trailers is I finally finished X-Men '97. which was really cool.
Yeah.
I thought it was amazing, really fun, and I do think it's like it's pretty. It could be clunky, right? But I'm like really am holding it to like higher standards than now it's gone beyond just this is just an animated TV show.
Yeah.
It's like now I'm like, okay, I'm invested in this plot, and some cuts, edits are so much time passes, the setting changes from one edit to the other. You're like you're in someone's living room, and then you're out in space.
Yeah.
With bird people and stuff. I'm like, wow, you just slingshotted me across the galaxy, like a real hard left.
Yeah.
And it's just like really hard turns in a lot of that.
Yeah.
I do feel like a lot of that was necessary because they only had 9 episodes or something like that, and they're 30 minutes each, and they really just wanted to blast through this story. But man, like, it really does nail the vibe.
Yeah.
And I think what's most important to that show's success is it always felt dangerous. Like when I was watching the original series in the 90s, I never really experienced people getting off in my animated shows. Like people die, like legit die, I was almost certain, and it's been such a long time since I've seen it, but like in the first few episodes of the original X-Men, like Morph died.
In the first, second.
In the first episode, yeah.
First or second episode, yeah.
Yeah. Morph dies. And I'm like, that's nuts. And then like that show was always like, when I watched it, I was always like bracing myself for some kind of crazy revelation. When I watched Batman the Animated Series, like I wasn't really like it's a great show, but it didn't have a continuing story the same way X-Men did. Like they were both running at the same time. They had competing shows. I'm pretty sure because I remember watching both.
Yes. Yeah, they were both
on
going on
syndicated television. Right?
Yep.
But the thing with Batman the Animated Series is it didn't carry a story from one episode to the other unless for the odd 2-parter or whatever it would typically have. But X-Men was a proper comic book story that just kept going. Like each episode, it was continuing like a larger story, and that's pretty novel for a animated show, or even for other shows that were more like Monster of the Week shows, like Buffy. Even though Buffy did actually tie a lot of things together.
Yeah.
But that's probably not the greatest example. But like other shows at the time that were just kind of like mystery shows and like detective shows that were just kind of like every week was a new episode that didn't connect to the last one. X-Men, the original, did it, and they did it here, and it still felt dangerous.
Yeah,
and they made some choices in here where I was just like, wow, I can't believe you did that. I'm like, is this going to turn around? Is this person going to come back? And nope.
Yeah. Yeah. That was, I don't know if we necessarily need to talk spoilers right now, but it's, I'm not planning on it, but like, to your point, they made some choices that you're just like, well, how are they going to, and they don't. And
they just don't.
They don't. And like, time travel's a thing in this universe. So you think maybe they'll hit the undo button that way. But maybe not, and you never know. I don't know. I think that they leave the door open. What I found most interesting, and I don't know enough about all the different stories, but they did a lot of slicing and dicing like canon comic events into this story and pieced them back together.
Right.
It was very interesting. Like it makes me want to go back to the comics and actually go through those different stories, because I think that I think there's a lot of really good, rich history. Like they picked bangers. Like they picked really, really solid stories.
They did, yeah.
And you could tell there's a lot of love and attention to this show. It was great. There wasn't a bad episode. The worst episode of them all for me was the 4th episode, which was a focus on Jubilee, and that was actually the Mojo one. Yeah, and that was actually
well, that's kind of a spoiler, but yeah,
that's fine. But it's actually, I think it's called Mojo Vision or something. So whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
But in any case, like even that being the worst of I thought it was a great episode. Like it was just a fun episodic episode, and there was a surprise voice return as well. I don't know if you caught it. We could talk about it later. In that one.
In that episode.
Yeah, in that episode. Yeah.
Nope.
We can talk about it later.
Well, we'll save that one later. Yeah, I will save that one.
All right, Doomers, if you're out there and you're listening to this, who was the special voice guest in episode 4 of X-Men 97? Strike back in the comments. I don't know where those comments are. I guess they'd be on YouTube. So if you go to YouTube, you could fucking comment there. or something.
Yeah. This show was just great. Voice acting was great. I think the animation was quite good.
Yes.
For what it was, I like that they tried to keep that. They tried to keep this style from the previous show, but you can tell they're cutting corners a little bit with the computer stuff and doing some of that. But I think it was just, by and large, I feel like this is. I haven't really gone online and looked anything up, but I do generally understand that people seem to like this show quite a bit.
Yeah.
I think it's basically the best thing Disney has produced.
Yes.
Like at large, like meaning all like cross-platform for me in years.
Yeah.
Like that's like personally. I guess if you count, like I did enjoy, Goosebumps, and that was a Disney like original show, but like from like Stars or something like that. I don't know. I guess of their major properties, maybe, I don't know, of Star Wars and Marvel and all of that. Like I do think this is some of the best. It's certainly the best Marvel thing that's been made in years.
Yes.
In my opinion.
That I was gonna say, like it's hands down, like since like Endgame and like the big tentpole enders of that like first phase or whatever the fuck that it was.
Yeah.
That was their last good heyday. Everything else after that's been mediocre at best, I would say.
Yeah.
Nothing's been really a standout. And this has been a standout. Like that to me was like I was on the edge of my seat every week, like anticipating when that next episode's gonna come out. Eagerly. As opposed to I don't do you watch The Boys?
No, I do not.
So I'm awaiting those episodes. Like when they come out, I'm like, oh, it's Boys Day. All right, I'll watch this, or maybe I'll watch it tomorrow. No, that was not the case for X-Men '97. It was like I would literally just like book out a meeting, and I'm like, I'm watching this at 11 o'clock, eating breakfast.
That's so funny, man. I agree with you. It was great. I watched it after they had all aired.
Yeah.
So I kind of just smashed like 2 or 3 episodes. I killed it like 6 episodes in 2 or 3 days, which is very abnormal for me.
For you, yeah, that is pretty abnormal.
Abnormal. So if you haven't seen X-Men '97, this has been a spoiler-free, opinions on it. But like we're both, and everyone I've talked to who has seen it has been, very happy with it and very excited about it and very positive things to say. I think it's a great show. I think it's also one that I think maybe adults might not watch just because it's animated, which is fair. But I think in this case, it is animated, but the themes that this show deals with are incredibly well. They're as applicable now as they were when that show was out. I just feel like, I mean, I don't know what, like, I guess Stan Lee did extra. It's just such a brilliant parable for our own like time and like race relations, like disease, like anything, like, it just is so applicable. The themes are so applicable. So it's just absolutely genius. And they milk it. They actually really do dig into some of that stuff in like really great, amazing and thoughtful ways. So like if you're on the fence because it's animated, don't be, because I think that the themes that they deal with are incredibly like mature.
Very mature
on that show. Yeah.
And
it's also horny as hell. I would say that this show is so horny. I couldn't believe it. I was watching this. I'm like, oh my God, is there going to be a full on sex scene in this show? Like that's what I thought was going to be happening at some point. It's that
horny's a stretch. I would say it's more adult theme.
The Game of Thrones of animated kids television. Okay, that's
aggressive, sir. That is.
I'm just saying. They took it as far as they could for daytime children's animated series. They took it as far as they could. Absolutely.
Did you say daytime children? This is not a children's show.
Whatever. Like
this is not like this was made for us. This is our middle-aged, gray-haired men that were alive and aging during the early 90s.
We're alive and aging.
Yeah.
Were you alive in the 90s? Yes. Were you aging during the 90s? Yes. Then this show is for you. We made this show just for you.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds about right. That's how I define this.
Oh my God. Yeah.
But yeah.
You know what I mean. Anyway, it's not that at all. But you can feel the tension on this show. It's like there's a lot going on. There's a lot of shirtless basketball playing.
Not enough, if you ask me.
Crop top, big yay making. Like there's a lot on this show.
Yeah.
So it's really just for everyone. That's something for everybody.
Truly for everyone, this show.
Yeah.
You like beignets? We got you.
We got you big time. Okay. Let's jump into the I guess to the main thing here. It's been a long time since our last show, and summer's here. We're sweltering in this heat in Toronto, and like what's always great about summer is that these new trailers they debut for either the summer films, which we basically had a few months back, and now we're getting the ones for maybe like the fall and December and like winter films, and then we just have a list of trailers that came out that we had thoughts on as they were coming out, and I've got the list here. I had other movies on this list, but we just didn't get to recording, and now those movies are out. Like movies like Maxine, for example, like is already out. That was a great trailer, I thought. But yeah, the movies that we're about to talk about right now are not out yet, so we can jump right in. So let's do that.
Do it.
We will start with Hellboy the Third, I guess. Hellboy the Fourth. Is that what we're going to call this one? Hellboy Jr.? What do you want to call it? It is the fourth Hellboy movie that's being made. The first two are sequels to each other. Guillermo del Toro's Hellboy and Hellboy, The Golden Shower. What's that movie called? The Golden Army, right?
The Golden Army, yes. Yeah.
Got it. All right. And
the Golden Shower was a different movie. That was... If you downloaded that one, you would have been very surprised. Why are they doing that to her? Oh, whoops. Oh, boy.
Right. Well, I'll have to find that Hellboy movie somewhere at some point. Yeah. Then we had one more with Hellboy. It was just called Hellboy, right?
It was Hellboy, yeah. I think.
Yeah. And then now we have, of course, Hellboy again. That's not the name of the movie. It's just called Hellboy, not Hellboy again.
I thought it was Hellboy the Crooked.
Oh, the Crooked Man.
Yeah, it's in the title, right? No, yeah.
I literally have, you know what? Because I wrote in my notes just says Hellboy. You're right. The Crooked Man. You know what? Thank God for that. Good for that.
I like that. I just like, look, if this for some reason is actually successful, we'll talk about it, but like I'm hoping it is. I would love to see a series of these where it's Hellboy and the blah. Like, we know who Hellboy is at this point. There's been 2 incarnations of him, all right? Let's just get to the stories. Let's get into the stuff that makes this character so interesting. And it's not necessarily the fact that, like, you have to have a continuous, like, story, sequel to story, sequel to the sequel. Like, just have it be episodic and let that character exist. And that's what I'm sensing here is I'm hoping there's not like some crazy origin story, some really rehashing and telling of the same characters, and just it looks like it's a very different vibe than the other ones, which have been more action adventure-y, I'd say, than horror, whereas this one looks straight up like a horror film, and I'm excited by that. I think it could be really cool. What'd you think of the makeup of Hellboy in this one as compared to the other ones?
It's pretty minimalist.
Yeah.
And I think so. A guy named Jack Casey is playing Hellboy. I don't know who he is. But it's pretty. I mean, like, first of all, like the actual feedback on this trailer has been just everyone is just shooting all.
Yeah.
I don't mind, a stripped down kind of makeup job for Hellboy, because we got Del Toro's 2 films, which I think they were really trying for the comic aesthetic. And then you got that 3rd film, which we'll just call Hellboy Drunken Uncle Edition, because that's what he sounds like the entire movie.
Yeah.
Starts like this.
Yeah.
What's he talking? Anyway, that makeup was like super metal. Like, it was just very craggy, and it was almost like it was very over the top, highly detailed, to the point where it was just kind of, it wasn't bad. It was just, that's definitely a choice, that they made. And then we get this one, which is very stripped down. There's not like 6 inches of latex on this guy's face. There's no like, it's the bodysuit itself seems really thin, rather than just like kind of beefy and chunky. So they've really slimmed him down. I think, there's several reasons for that, probably budget being, one of them. But I don't mind it. Like, it doesn't. Everyone's saying it looks like a fan film or something like that. I'm kind of with you. I like the atmosphere here. The Crooked Man, the story it's based on, the Mignola story is based on, is by all accounts quite good and one a lot of people's favorite like Hellboy story. And they've gone with a much more like a much darker, much more atmospheric horror vibe to this, where I don't even know, like, I actually think Hellboy's not going to be in a lot of this movie. You know what I mean? Like, to that point where he's like, the movie isn't about him. He's just there to investigate. Right. Like, I don't think he's really going to have this crazy arc. Maybe it'll be the characters around him that are changing and are interesting. But yeah, no, that's what I appreciate about it. It looks so different. Now, yeah, the budget does show. Like, there's no question about it. Like, the small budget absolutely shows here. The stunt editing for these kind of cliched horror moments in the trailer, it's pure cliched horror moments that they're creating. But that's not always representative of the movie, like, that comes out, right? So I'm kind of like at the point, I'm very interested. Like, I will go see this movie when it comes out. Yeah. And I will reserve judgment because there's enough here that's different, that is a totally different vibe than the other two films. And I think a reduction in budget is good for a movie like this. It can be good. And the director, Brian Taylor, the like half the team, like Brian Taylor and somebody else usually direct movies together, like Crank, and Mom and Dad, and
Ghost Rider, Spirit of Vengeance.
He's just Ghost Rider. Oh yeah, Ghost Rider, Spirit of Vengeance. Oh, how I do love that movie. It's like that movie is so insane, and I think if he brings that insane, like Mom and Dad is also a great, fun movie to watch if you haven't seen it. But like he has a certain manic energy, like about him. So I'll like throw that energy into this movie and shape it in a way that works for this character. I'm in, and I'm ready to go to the theater to see this movie. Yep. Like I like that it's different.
Yep. I'm 100% with you. I will be next to you when that comes out in a theater.
All right. Wicked. Let's do it. So that is Hellboy the Crooked Man. Next one we've got Alien. It's not called Alien. It's called, and I wrote Alien just Alien. It's called Alien : Romulus.
Aliens : Oh, there it is. Okay. I was like, man, that's a weird title change. I thought it was Romulus.
We've got Hellboy the Golden Shower and Aliens : These are
all of the characters
names for all of these movies.
All of the characters on the Romulus are proctologists. The aliens just trying to run away. Not today.
Anyway, I just be like, there's a profession at some point, not while we're going to be alive, but there's going to be such thing as a non-terrestrial proctologist. That's going to be a it'll happen someday when we discover life on other planets. We can't help ourselves. We just have to look up their butts.
Yeah, I mean, we're just trying to help them more than anything. I mean, that's the whole point of this, right?
I mean, you keep telling yourself that, buddy.
Yeah, you're right. You're definitely right.
This is the basis for the script of Aliens : All right. So this is Alien Romulus, directed by Fede Alvarez, and I think he has a story credit on this too. Does he not? Alien Romulus. Let's see. I think he might.
I think he does. I think I read that he does. I think you're right.
Yeah. So I'm just confirming that. Producer and music, blah blah blah. Written by. Oh yes. So Fede Alvarez is one of the two writers. The other writer is Rodo. I'm gonna butcher this name, so I apologize. Rodo Sayagues. I started reading it and I saw his last name as I was saying his first name, and I'm like, nope, I don't know how to pronounce that, and I've already started. So I'm just not going to stop and be like, you know what? This writer will remain nameless. That's not what I'm going to do, right? I got to soldier through that one.
That would have been more insulting. I think you did the Lord's work on this one, sir.
That's right.
Well done.
God's country.
This
All
is God's. This is God's
All right.
country.
So this is Alien Romulus. What did you think of the Alien Romulus trailer? So I've seen the teaser and I saw the first full trailer. I know they've released stuff since then, but I've only seen those first two. I stopped watching.
Okay. So here's the thing. I don't know if you know this, but I haven't liked any of the recent Alien films.
Really? Oh man, I thought you really enjoyed Covenant. I was sure you did.
So with that in mind, I've kind of got watching the trailers, I'm like, okay, this looks really cool, looks really practical, a lot of practical effects. The alien looks great. I feel like they've got the right atmosphere. And then in the back of my head, I hear Covenant. And I'm like,
whispering that.
Yeah, I don't like that. And then I'm like, fool me once. Shame on you, Prometheus. Fool me twice. So I'm tempering my expectations for this one. Got it. All intents and purposes, this does look pretty solid. I feel like it does feel like a return to form, just based on the trailer itself. Feels like a very claustrophobic movie. It harkens back to that original one. But I am just, I don't know, I've been hurt too many times, Atul. I've been hurt too many times.
Honestly, you need to start thinking about yourself, man. You need to live life. Think about yourself.
But my heart can only be broken so many times, sir.
I know. And
my colon.
Listen, I understand. Look, I understand. I understand that you're been burned twice in the past, but there are a lot of things that are different here. Namely, Ridley Scott is not directing this movie.
Yeah,
Alvarez is.
Yeah.
Now, just so everyone understands, I actually dig Prometheus, and I like Covenant. So we're on different pages here. I could watch another Ridley Alien film, no problem. They have their problems, obviously, but I do think that they are creative and add to the mythology in meaningful ways, in my opinion. But I understand a lot of people do not like these movies. So Fede Alvarez is directing, Ridley Scott is producing, and even Walter Hill is producing, which is wild. The trailer for this movie, the original teaser trailer was very, very good. It was so good. It really didn't show you a whole lot, showed you flashes. It established setting, it established atmosphere, it established intensity, gore, and something new. Like, it really did feel new in some of those shots on the teaser. So very excited when the teaser came out. Then I saw the full trailer, and I like it. It's more of that, but I'm very, very worried that this movie is going to suffer from the thing that I think a lot of our movies suffer from, which is kind of like capitalist nostalgia. Basically, it's just like taking scenes from previous movies, because it ends with the main character holding what is almost exactly a pulse rifle, or like a pulse rifle mod 1, because I believe this movie takes place between Alien and Aliens, so some of this tech is being developed, so it's not quite a pulse rifle, but and breathing heavy and holding it and kind of having this like mist and fog kind of like in the background. Not fog, but kind of, whatever. The air pressure tanks have been punctured, as they are in all Alien films. They must be punctured. You cannot see all the way down through a hallway without a blast of mist in your face. You cannot do that. That's like in the Alien 101 handbook. So, I'm worried about that, because I also saw like Ghostbusters Afterlife recently, and I just felt like it was like a nothing movie. Like, it was pandering so much to the point where I just felt like I was just eating cotton candy, and there was no meal there, and I don't want that to happen to this movie because I think Fede Alvarez is a very inspired choice. I mean, we've talked about, I think, his remake of The Evil Dead, which is like, or like, I don't even think I can watch that movie again. It was so intense.
Yeah,
it was
it's good. A lot.
It was very good. I saw it in the theater. It was very good, but I was just like, I don't know if I need to see that movie again, you know. And but so if he brings that energy to this film, I feel like we really have something special on our hands. But I'm so scared. I'm hearing some like what do you call it? Motion tracker sounds in the trailer. I'm hearing I'm pretty sure I hear a motion tracker sound from Aliens. You see the pulse rifle at the end. I just hope they're playing all that up, and it's there. You know, those moments are there, but they're not like the focus.
Yeah.
And I hope that the trailer is really pumping those up because they, you know, that's what they're doing. They're advertising this movie. Nostalgia sells. They get it. I'm just hoping that's not the whole. They're not building the movie strictly on nostalgia. The nostalgia gets you in the theater. Hopefully, they come with something else than that. Which is, I mean, that's a good way to look at it. I certainly am more of a whore to nostalgia than you are. I love that shit. I love it. Yeah.
You know, give me that cotton candy. I don't need to eat. I've already had a few meals. Just cotton candy's good.
You know, what's funny is that I was super. There was a time when I was super into it, and it was when the Halloween 2018, the David Gordon Green Halloween came out, because I really enjoyed that movie. And now I've seen it, you know, over the last few years, and I'm having the same feelings. Like I'm actually reversing my opinion of, not reversing it, but understanding that how my love of that, you know, the visuals from that series was almost preyed upon. Yeah, you know, by these makers, you know. And that's not to say I think it's a bad movie. I think that's a totally fine legacy sequel, which is, you know, what all these are. Like, I was saying this. I think Halloween 2018 is a much better movie than Axel. Like I'll put that out there. I see that. But at the same time, I think they're both affected by the same thing. I think Ghostbusters Afterlife is affected by the same thing. I just really, really, because every Alien movie has been so unique. Even the two ones that Ridley made are very unique. But Alien, all the Alien films have been directed by true visionaries. They had Ridley Scott, James Cameron, David Fincher, Jean-Pierre Jeunet, and Ridley Scott again, and now Fede Alvarez, who I would argue he's a great visualist. Like I wouldn't, you know, we have yet to see like a ton of output from him, right? But I think it's an inspired choice. I want that feeling to be different. So anyway, I've been talking a lot about this.
No, I'm with you on that. If they're gonna do something different, I want to see something good. I don't want to see the same dog shit that they've been doing with characters that are just fucking. I hate Covenant so much. I hate it. I hate that movie. I'd rather see Alien :
Aliens. Aliens
straight up. Just give me the.
You think it's Alien : or is it Alien, or is that the first movie?
That's the first one, and then the Aliens : and then you've just got ass everywhere. Alien ass.
That's good. Alien. What would the rest be called? There's like Alien : Resurrected. You can do that.
Yeah.
Fourth film. And then, you know, Aliens : versus Predator :
That's a lot.
There's just two asses pressed against each other. What?
It's just two proctologists, like, basically hand puppeting the Predator versus the aliens.
Oh, God.
We can't write movies. We shouldn't be allowed to. Because otherwise, this is what we're going to produce.
Oh, jeez. Aliens. All right, so that's Alien Romulus. Let's move on to what do we got here? Oh, Deadpool versus Wolverine, or whatever this is called.
Yeah, buddy.
Deadpool vs. Wolverine.
I can't wait till he makes it. I think it's, what is it? What are they actually calling it? Deadpool and Wolverine?
I don't know what the name of this movie is.
Let's see. I am actually curious now because I have seen the advertisements for it enough. Yeah, just Deadpool and Wolverine. Which is direct and to the point. I am obviously very excited for this movie because
I got it.
What?
Deadpool and Wolverine.
That just sounds. What are you doing? What just happened?
I'm just trying to make up adult film names for all of the movies that we've already got. We've already had the first two.
Deadpool.
But now it's Deadpool v Wolverine. No, and Wolverine.
I'd go with Headpool.
Right? Okay. Headpool
and Wolverine.
Okay.
Add it.
Okay. I don't know why I'm taking this note right now. I don't know why I'm taking it, but here it is. I made it out. Deadpool's Wolverine.
Dude, that's the first line in Letterboxd.
Yeah.
Most anticipated movies of 2024. Deadpool and Wolverine. Why are we like 12-year-old boys? This is good God.
All right, let's talk about this trailer.
I don't need to. I've already talked about how much I like it. I want to hear you talk about it because it's going to be straight Venom, and I'm here for it.
It's not Venom. It's not. I love the fact that people love this movie and are super excited. I love that. That's great. The Deadpool movies, like we talked about before, see our Deadpool 2 review. I believe at the end of Deadpool 2 review, I said, go see The Proposition instead of watching Deadpool 2, because The Proposition, the film, is referenced in the Deadpool 2 movie.
Yeah.
Right? And at the end of the review, I was like, you know what? Let's go see that instead. Go see the movie they referenced instead of this movie.
I also remember us getting obnoxiously drunk when
we were not sober. Correct. We're not sober by.
That was an aggressive.
Which is fun. Deadpool. The first one was kind of tolerable. The second one was not for me. I just can't get into it. I just can't get behind Ryan Reynolds as just being a Ryan Reynolds in all these Ryan Reynolds movies. I just can't. He's the same. It's just boring for me. Uh-huh. And this is I feel like this. I don't know. I feel like the obnoxiousness is at the same level or more at this point for this film. Hugh Jackman's back. I think the suit looks amazing.
Yeah, right.
I think the suit looks incredible.
Yeah.
And he looks amazing. He is huge jacked man. In this movie, he's no joke. So he looks great. There seems to be a lot of fucking insider Marvel nonsense jokes that either I'm not going to get or I'm just going to I'm probably not going to get. Or it's just going to be filled with this kind of no, it sounds like I'm hating on the movie. I haven't even seen it. I just know this. I just know
good.
I just know this movie is not for me.
Unlimited power.
I know this movie is not for me.
It's not.
I'll catch it on streaming or something. I know this movie is not for me in the same way that I knew that Thor: Love and Thunder was not for me, and I have not seen that movie because I saw the trailer for that. I'm like, that is quadrupling down on the insanity from the last film. That I did not like.
Yeah.
So. That's what I feel like this movie is doing. From Deadpool 2 to this, it's just, quintupling down on that. I'm like, this movie is not for me.
Yeah, that's fair. I think there's going to be a lot of that. There's going to be a lot of Deadpool variants. So if you haven't been watching and keeping track, have you been watching Loki? Did you watch that with Shogu?
No, I did not.
So
no.
There's
she saw a second. I saw the first season. I did not see the second season.
Okay, so the first season is basically what you need to know in that there's multiple variants of people throughout different multiverses, right? So they're ramping that up. So there's going to be quite a few Deadpools, I think, in this movie. So you're going to have...
Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
Maybe surrounded by Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, so many Reynoldses. What's is that... How many S's are Reynolds?
Depends how many Deadpools is there are.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
it's a lot of Ryan Reynolds. I think people are outrageously excited for this movie, and I think that's great. I think a lot of people are going to enjoy this movie. I think my wife's gonna love this movie. I think that's awesome. and I also think that we were talking about it before, but there is a bit of a dry spell here for Marvel for the last couple of years.
Yeah.
They lost me a long time ago, but I think they've been shedding kind of viewership for a little while. On their Marvel stuff, just like box office just hasn't been there for some of the films, and their Star Wars stuff, same kind. I feel like
they're oversaturating their own market. And because of that, the quality is suffering because they're trying to pump out stuff at a rate that they just can't deliver on the quality. Because the original Marvel Universe started off relatively strong from a quality perspective and then started to taper off a little until they kind of came to the penultimate, final two movies where everything got tied together and everything was well paced and overly long, but whatever. Mm-hmm. But they had a long time to draw that out. But it doesn't feel like that they've got a plan as to what they want to do. So they keep making this episodic stuff in a very rushed fashion with characters not a lot of people give a shit about. And that's not working. And then on top of that, they have even more side content that's coming in through their streaming service. Like they've got this Agatha all along show. And I'm like, she needs a show. Like it was a good movement in WandaVision, but like a whole show, maybe it'll be good. But anyways, you're absolutely on the money. That just the Marvel universe has been very, very much suffering as of late since since Endgame, I'd say. So maybe this breathes some life into it. I mean, the X-Men and the Fantastic Four are really their two trump cards right now that'll bring attention back to them, because as of right now, it's just not there. So hopefully this has quality, because I mean, I'm going to go and I'm going to enjoy it, but I really want to walk out of there being happy with it as well. Actually happy.
Yeah. I think that's what a lot of people do see this film as being, like getting things back on track. I think there is a lot of pressure on this movie, just from what I see in comments and community posts and what's that?
As in, not anymore. I mean, fuck, they've broken ticket sales all over the place already.
Yeah.
So there's not a lot of pressure on them. Now it's just like the pressure is if they make a crappy movie, then that's going to stop that momentum dead. But this movie's going to be successful regardless. Like it's not even close.
Yeah. Oh yeah. In terms of money wise, I think you're right. No, I want it. I think it's super cool. A lot of folks are excited about this. I think there's some fun cameos. Like I saw a trailer with like Sabretooth in it from the 2000s X-Men, which is Tyler Mane. When I think Tyler Mane, I do think the one-man home wrecking crew from Halloween from H2, Rob Zombie's H2, or the first one, where he just comes in like the fucking Kool-Aid man through the wall and he's just destroying this house. I wish I could cut together all of the scenes where he's just destroying houses. He's just destroying floors and drywall and ripping ceilings down. It's just this one, used as a training video for demolitionist something. Anyway, Tyler Mane coming back as Sabretooth, which is pretty neat. And I'm sure that's not the last of the probably insane cameos that are going to be in this movie. So I'm excited that people are excited. This movie is just not. It's just not
for you. That's fair. I mean, I'm not going to argue that. So hopefully it's good.
But I would watch Deadpool's Wolverine.
I already know you would.
I would. I've already seen it. I'm watching it right now. Okay, the next one is The Crow.
Yeah.
Are these all sequels? Like every one of these is this, oh my God, everything here is a sequel, dude. Like it's a sequel or like
retelling, reboot, whatever the fuck. It is actually, yeah.
That's crazy.
Hollywood's out of ideas, bro. Like just nobody's got any original ideas. They just want to rehash the same characters, which being Mr. Nostalgia whore, new properties. And
maybe that's why that could also be me us selecting them as the ones that we were
there's partially
that. Like I'm sure there is other new stuff. We just there doesn't seem to be other huge big new stuff. I guess.
Yeah. Big tentpole.
It'll be our own bias controlling this list. Okay. The Crow. What did you think of this trailer?
I'm very excited for it. And here's why. Is like I'm very much a fan of the original one. I've talked about it on this podcast at length in the past, I'm sure. So that is a very near and dear place to my heart. So anytime I hear that, oh, they're remaking The Crow, they're doing something, I always get a little bit like, why are we doing this? Like, what are you trying to do that the other one didn't? Like, how are you going to make this better? And I saw the trailer for this, and I was like, okay, The Crow is basically John Wick. And
yes, they definitely were heavy on the action.
Very heavy. Yeah. But that's the thing. The other one had a little bit more heart to it. This, not to say that this doesn't. It looks like there's certainly the love story that kind of drove the Eric Draven character in the original Crow. So, that's going to be a driving force in this one. However, it looks like they're just, they're ramping up the action a lot differently than they did in that first film.
For sure.
So I'm into it because it is something different. Like this is it is a very different. It's got a very different look to it. I don't know how much I love the Crow's look, like the Eric character, his look with all the face tats. They just jokerized him for no reason, but whatever. It is what it is.
Does he have tattoos on his face?
Yeah, he's got face tattoos and shit. I'm just like, nah, why? But you know what? Look at some of the different music artists that are out there now. There's a lot of face tattoos. So
yeah,
it kind of fits. So I'm not overly mad about that. But like, as much as I like The Crow, in fact, above my head right now is a Crow lunchbox. I don't know if you can see that.
I barely see.
Yeah.
Barely see it.
Well, anyways,
I'll take your word for it.
Yeah. But the point is that these guys aren't trying to do some kind of like retelling or direct sequel or anything. They're taking the character for me and they're doing something very different than what's been done in the past. So I'm okay with that. Let's see what they can do. Hopefully it's good. If it's not, then I'll just go watch the original one and not bitch and moan like some of the other fanboys. Because like this got immediate hate as soon as the trailer dropped. Everybody's hating on this, and I'm just like, for fuck's sakes, like, can we just see the movie first before we like jump all over this? But it is what it is. The internet's gonna hate, so that's my take on it. Very excited. Alex Proyas is not excited about this film. In fact, he's been shitting on it every time he can.
Alex Proyas hasn't made a movie in a long time, and his last few movies weren't particularly good. But he did have a 1-2 punch of The Crow in '94 and then Dark City.
Yeah. Sorry, give me 1 second. I gotta step away because my laptop is literally dying right now.
Yeah.
Okay, give me a second. Where were we? We were talking about The Crow. I think I was gushing over how I am excited about this film. How do you feel?
I like the original Crow. Also, I guess it wasn't fair to me for me to say that everything we're looking at here is sequels. But because I think this is actually a readaptation of the original source material. Like they're not remaking the original film.
Right.
It's like
readaptation is a good way to put it. I kind of, that's what I was alluding to, but just didn't put it as eloquently.
Right. So this so I guess this doesn't fall into sequels, but I mean there is a very famous movie adaptation of this already, so it's hard not to compare. I like The Crow quite a bit. I know you have you're mad for it. I love you love that movie. For me, like I don't have too much skin in the game here. I was a little surprised with the direction they took with the action in this movie because I just feel like it's a little too like. I think what sets the original Crow apart is kind of like the melodramatic, like romance. Ultimately, like that is like a very romantic, graphic, but very romantic movie.
Yep.
And I think that's kind of what sets it apart. There isn't an overemphasis on the action, but here it's like they almost feel like they have to. Like it's almost like you can't make a movie like or adapt The Crow the way that Proyas and Brandon Lee did. I think maybe audiences would just be bored. That's not what they want to see. They like, because this seems like the filmmaking just seems like, oh, okay, now it's just, John Wick, and I was just.
The action bits they included in the trailer, yes.
I'll see this movie. Like, I'll watch this. like I said, I don't have too much skin in the game, but my kind of like reaction to this is that it's just a little too little too been there, done that for a property that's so, so unique. And that's kind of what I'm worried about, is that they've gone the route of let's appease like, well, what do people like? What's hot now? Let's do that with the Crow.
Yeah.
See, I feel like they've gone down that.
I don't mind it. I don't mind it so much because the source material was actually a lot more violent than the original film. Like a lot more.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
The James O'Barr comic.
No. The James O'Barr comic is very graphic and very violent. Yeah.
I imagine it is. I guess it's not that it's because even I guess the Proyas movie was violent too.
Yeah, just a different type.
I mean, it's the emphasis on the action, like the actual sequences of action. Like there wasn't any, like, sorry, I haven't read the original source material. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just more of like that emphasis on the single shot gun reloading stuff. I just hope that it's, or that they've added some flair to that. That we're not seeing everything in the trailers that will make me like not kind of yawn when that stuff comes on. It's like, we have John Wick 4. It's a 2.5 hour movie of that stuff.
I don't think that's what this film is. I feel like a lot of the action we've seen is like a really, like, it's a more fresh take on action these days. But I don't know about you. Like, I'm not seeing a lot of like variety in the action scenes, in that it's like he's doing this and then he's doing this and then he's doing this. They either seem to be like small, violent, self-contained things, like him in a room shooting somebody or something like that. It's like a very small, like it's probably just a 2 or 3 person scene. And then you have the big tentpole action scene where he's in a giant hotel or wherever he is on that staircase fighting the multiple guys. I didn't see a lot of other action scenes that it looks like they're stacking a bunch of action shit on top of each other. So, and given that there's certainly some aspect of this to the afterlife and wherever he is going and jumping into the Black River, whatever the fuck, there's definitely some history with his lady. So I think that there's going to be more to this movie than just a schlocky action film. But I could be wrong. So I'm hoping that this is a movie with heart, but also has heart wrenching or heart thumping, I guess, action, like just like ramped up, fun, exciting action, because that's what I'd like to see. But I also like, even though I said John Wick, the action looks very John Wick-esque. I hope it is, but I don't want to see that movie. I want to see The Crow. And to your point, a big part of that is the drama and the heart of the actual film. So hopefully they bring that too, because we haven't seen that as much in the trailer. A little, but not a lot.
Yeah. I guess the way I would describe my feelings on this is when I first saw the RoboCop remake trailer. Like, this looks RoboCop remakey, but I actually ended up quite liking the remake of RoboCop. I know a lot of people do not. I think that's a hot take. I do quite enjoy that movie. I think it gets flat in some areas, but it has enough new ideas to sort of legitimize its own existence.
Yeah.
But I do it falls into some of the very slick filmmaking tropes that we had at the time, and I think this movie, it gives me that feeling. It gives me that. Maybe in the worst case, it's like the Total Recall remake, and in the best case for me, it's like the RoboCop remake where I watched. I'm like, oh, that wasn't so bad. Like that actually was kind of interesting and fun.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm hoping it's more like I'm with you on the RoboCop thing. I don't mind it being a product of its time. I feel like to most degrees of movies, they're all products of their times. There are some that are very timeless, that literally just stand the test of time. You could see that movie made today and be like, wow, this is incredible. But you wouldn't know that it was made in 1992 or something like that.
Yeah.
There's only a few of those, though. So it's hard, like, those are high standards to try and have, to not be a bit of a product of your time. So
That's true. Yeah. Well, I mean, I will see this movie. Not a lot of skin in the game. I'm open to checking it out.
All right.
Bill Skarsgård is everywhere these days, though. He's definitely saying yes to a lot of projects that seem to be coming out around, because he was just in like Boy Kills World.
Yeah.
You saw that?
No, I haven't seen it yet, but I do want to watch that.
I've not seen it yet, but he's absolutely jacked.
Yeah.
Like in that movie. He's jacked in this too, in that trailer. And then I think he's coming back to play Pennywise in another movie, and now he's in the TV show Welcome to Derry that they're making, or the It series.
Okay.
And he's playing Nosferatu in Robert Eggers' Nosferatu, which is coming out in December.
Yeah.
Which again, like another kind of creature, like he is everywhere. And maybe it's not a bad thing, but I feel like sometimes when you push a little too far, you end up in a lot of these genre pictures, in a row, high density, I think he's a really good actor, and I think he has a lot of fun in these roles, and he adds his own sort of Sarsgaard mystique to them. But there is a lot of Sarsgaard out there, like him.
Yeah. And his brothers and his father. Yeah, but there's a few. But yeah, just him in particular. Yeah, there's more of him than any. Yeah, no, I think I'm excited. Anyways, what else we got?
All right. We got next one. We were talking about Ridley Scott producing Romulus. He probably didn't direct it because he had to make Gladiator 2, which I got to tell you, man, Gladiator 2 has been floating around like this idea for such a long time, and some of the things that I heard about it were insane. Like there's a time portal and Maximus comes back and like crazy stuff that almost, I feel like some of this stuff was dangerously close to being made, to actually being made. And now there's actually a Gladiator 2, and it's none of those.
No, doesn't look like
none of those just insane ideas. And look, man, I'll watch a Ridley Scott movie. Like, this guy's 86 years old, and he's just cranking them out every year. There's a new Ridley Scott movie, and sometimes there's two. Like over COVID, he had 2 movies come out.
That's just crazy. That is pretty nuts.
And yeah, it was The Last Duel and the Italian fashion family. What are they called?
Armani?
I was supposed to say Versace. No, it's the. Well, I forgot the. Anyway, where Al Pacino plays the head of the family, and like the Italian. Oh,
I don't know.
Gosh darn it. Okay. Maybe it is Versace. Maybe anyway. House of Gucci. Bam.
Gucci. That's what it was. Okay.
Yeah, Gucci. House of Gucci.
Right.
The Last Duel. Those movies came out like within months of each other in the same year, which is nuts. Anyway, so he's making Gladiator 2. Trailer was released. And I don't know what to. I truly don't know what to make of this movie. Like every time I watch it, I'm like, this is patented like Ridley Scott here.
Yeah.
And. But I feel like nobody said no.
Yeah.
Like, I think this is like the Hobbit, Peter Jackson, George Lucas original trilogy scenario where they're like, Gladiator 2, let's just get that out there. Yes, sir, is my answer to everything Scott says.
Yeah.
Hey, can we fill the Colosseum with ocean water and sharks? Yes, sir, we can.
Yeah.
Like, can we have a rhinoceros in the Colosseum? Yes, sir, we can.
Only if someone's riding them. Like, yeah, they're just fucking yes-anding them. Like, yes.
I am. Look, I'm gonna see this movie. Like, let's be honest, and it looks incredible, and I just can't. I have a feeling this is going to be so over the top.
Yeah,
like, the movie is so over the top that it's just gonna be. It's gonna be. It won't be able to take it seriously. Like after a certain point, that it's so out there with some of its like crazy ideas.
Yeah.
And the last thing I'll say about it is that a lot of people were good. 2 things I'll say. A lot of people, I mean, comments and stuff complaining about the music that was used in the trailer. It was like it's a rap song. I can't remember who sang it, but the song says something Coliseum, so they like use that track like this hype track. And a lot of people complaining about that, and I'm like, it's fine. It's a trailer. And a lot of the people who are complaining about it are maybe people that were teenagers when Gladiator 2 came out, and those are the people that are going to go see this fucking movie. So they don't need your ticket.
Yeah.
They need the ticket of like a different generation.
Yeah,
right?
100%.
So they use that, and I'm fine with it. It is what it is. And the next thing I'd say is that a lot of people are like, Denzel looks amazing. That's one of the things I think looks kind of out of place is Denzel, because I can see him being Denzel. And when Denzel's Denzel in ancient Rome, I'm a little like, yeah, where am I? Am I on, like, where am I?
Yeah.
Is this get your fucking hands off me moment coming up? Like, what's gonna happen? Is he gonna like what is gonna and it just some of the moments in the trailer like where he's speaking dialogue, I'm like, okay, I get it. But then he starts like laughing. He starts laughing. He gets that Denzel look in his face, and I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
Bringing me to 18 other movies right now. 18 other characters.
He's distracting because you see Denzel. You don't see whatever character he's playing. All you see is Denzel.
You do, and it's like, you know, if you got Jack Nicholson to appear in a Gladiator film and he was just Jack Nicholson, he was just being Jack, how distracting would that be? So incredibly distracting. And I feel like this is the similar thing I'm feeling. Again, this is just a trailer. You know, I'm sure when I'm sure when you watch the movie and you hear his dialogue, they're playing this stuff up on purpose, just like we were talking about earlier, like the Alien Romulus trailer, playing up some of that fan service stuff on purpose. I'm just hoping it's not, you know, doesn't distract me too much from the film itself.
That's fair. The original Gladiator's probably in my top 5 movies of all time. I'm a huge fan of that film. When I saw this, to be honest, I was one of the ones where the rap music kind of threw me off. I'm just like, this just does not fit. And then you also have Denzel, to your point, stood out like a sore thumb to me. I was just like, he just seems out of place. And then I also realized that the main character is the son from the original one, which I did not like that character at all. He was my least favorite character in that movie.
You mean the child?
The child, yeah. I just didn't like him. I don't know what it was. I just didn't like him. I know it's. I have no explanation other than fuck that kid. But that's all I had in my heart. So that's unfortunately carried over to this movie because I'm not really excited about it. I don't know that there is. The other thing too is that I really don't feel like this needs a direct sequel. Like, the story that was told in Gladiator and ended in Gladiator was more than enough. A sequel to this, I need to be more enticed than what I've seen so far to actually want to go and see it in the theaters. Because right now, I don't know if I would. Unless all of a sudden the reviews came out and they were incredible, I'd sway that way then. But so far what I've seen, I'm not overly enthused. And I don't like being a slave to reviews, but in this case, I'm just kind of like, I don't want to go to the theater, waste my time on a Ridley Scott length movie, and then come out of it disappointed. It's just unfortunate.
You still hear the Covenant when it's a Ridley Scott movie?
No. Just if it's a Ridley Scott alien film, then I can hear the tracker in the background of my head. Oh shit!
It's funny because that's not even from his movie, but I get what you mean.
No, it is from his. It is. It's different though. It's a different tracker.
It's a different. Yeah, it is a different tracker. It makes a different noise, and it detects movement in like a really analog way. I always thought that was a really cool device.
Micro detect. What was it? Micro changes in air density or something like that.
Air density. Oh yeah, he does explain it.
Yeah, and it makes no fucking sense, but it's like, all right, that's good enough. You tried.
Ashes. Just like, can you just get the fuck off my back, please, right now? In that scene.
That's basically, he just made something up, and the other guy's like, this guy knows more than me. That's probably right.
Yeah. Gladiator 2. Just what a weird anomaly. Why now? You know, who knows? But it's Ridley. They've got some pretty great actors in here. Connie Nielsen's back. I like her a lot. And Pedro Pascal, another guy I'm seeing like everywhere, almost as everywhere as
Bill Skarsgård.
Yeah. And the lead I've never seen I can't remember where I may have seen him before, but it looks grand in a way that honestly only Ridley can do. Like, only Ridley, you watch a film, you can tell it's a Ridley movie. I love that about his movies. I really do. Like, him and Tony Scott, just like him and his brother, just had a wonderful visual eye, and I just love being able to say that's a Tony Scott movie, or that's a Ridley movie. Yeah. You can say that about movies that I think people like less, and styles like Zack Snyder comes to mind, where you're like, oh, this is obviously a Zack Snyder film, or Michael Bay.
Yeah.
Tim Burton, all these guys. But I've always enjoyed Ridley's stuff. I've never, and Tony Scott as well. So this movie is uniquely a Ridley Scott film. I watched the film, like, yep, that's Ridley, and I'm obviously going to see it. I'm definitely, Oh, I'm seeing in the cast list here. Actually, it just popped up. It's 2 hours and 36 minutes. That's not a bad time for like an epic like this. Gladiator 2 in the cast. Paul Mescal is the lead. But also in the movie is Jaimin Hansu.
Yes, yeah, he's in it.
He's listed in the cast. Do you see him in the trailer? You don't see him in the trailer.
I think you see him for a hot second.
Wait, now it's listing like Russell Crowe. Wait a minute. What is this?
I don't know.
What is this?
I'm pretty sure I've seen Jaimin Hansu. I thought I saw him like for a split second in the trailer because he lived after the first. He was alive at the end of the first Gladiator.
He did.
And
he did.
Yeah.
Hollywood. Oh no, he's not. He's not in the cast. Like Google was aggregating like the original movie and just adding it to the list from the. No, he's not. IMDb. He's not.
Okay, fair enough. I thought I saw him in the. Thought I saw him in that trailer, but I could be wrong. But, anyways,
yeah. Anyway, yeah. All right, so that's Gladiator 2. Next one is Beetlejuice. So yeah, another legacy sequel. Next time we do this, I'm going to try and diversify this list a little bit. This is a little.
Shut up. Just keep talking.
Yeah. Yeah. Beetlejuice, directed by Tim Burton. Everyone's coming back except for.
What's his name? Yeah. We know. Michael something?
Gosh darn it.
Michael.
I'm going to find out.
He looks like a Michael.
No, he's not a Michael. He's a Jeffrey. He's a Jeffrey Jones.
Yeah.
He is a Jeffrey Jones, and I think we talked about this last time, is that he's done something pretty horrific that I think I may have read about in the past or even recently, and I just kind of like pushed out of my mind. Something not great. So he's not back, but a lot of other folks are.
Yeah.
And Michael Keaton is back as Beetlejuice, and I saw the teaser, and then there's a 2-minute trailer that came out as well. I'm excited to check this out. Again, I just hope it doesn't always come back to like gags from the original movie, and I feel like it has. Like in the trailer, you see gags from the original movie where I just hope it's not dominated by that. And I've also been reading a lot about how the effects in this film, much like Alien Romulus as well, like really playing up. They're using practical effects, special effects, animatronics. Even what's crazy in this movie, stop motion animation for the sandworms. I'm like, that's great. I like that. That's really cool. So the movie feels very like almost stage bound. When I look at the trailer, it feels like a play almost because everything is the way it's all lit and stuff. And it's borderline looks like it's lit, childishly.
Yeah.
I might say like, almost monsters like Rob Zombie's monsters, like, kind of like that colored lighting and stuff. But I'm cautiously optimistic here just to see Michael Keaton as Beetlejuice.
Keaton back in the roles, baby.
I absolutely I'm not going to see this movie. I'm definitely going to go see this movie. I just don't want it to be overrun with nostalgia. I really want to bring something new to the table.
I don't care. I just want to see it. That's it. Like, where I said like Gladiator didn't need a sequel, Beetlejuice could certainly use one. Not because I felt like it had to have one, but there's no like the world's there. It's nothing felt like it was a perfect ending. Yeah, bring it back. Like let's run it back. We're literally dealing with the afterlife. You can bring back these characters as often as you can. And if Michael Keaton is alive and well and wants to do this role, you let him put on that fucking suit and be Beetlejuice. And he was brilliant in this because who he got cast as his wife was Monica Bellucci.
Yeah. Monica
I didn't
Bellucci
know that.
That's Tim. Yeah, Tim Burton is married to her, right? Aren't they?
What? Is that true? No. No.
Yeah,
you're thinking of what's her face? You're thinking of
Tim Burton and Monica Bellucci at the premiere. Blah blah blah.
Are they? They're married?
Yeah. Well, maybe not. Maybe they're not.
No, you're thinking of Helena Bonham Carter. That's who.
No, he was. Wait, hold on. No, partner, Monica Bellucci. It is that is his wife. Tim Burton's he's bringing down the big fish.
Wait, hold on. But he was married to Helena Bonham Carter, right?
It was.
Okay. So the Monica Bellucci thing is fairly new then. I was just not aware of it.
I think it's pretty new. Monica Bellucci just
Tim Burton. How Tim Burton? He looks like a deboned fish with a weird Burton.
He looks like a deboned fish.
You know who I thought of for some reason when I was thinking of Tim Burton? I was thinking of the fish character from the Justice League that's in Invincible that gets it in the first episode. I don't know why. For some reason, that popped in my head, and I just went with it. I'm like, this isn't accurate, but this is here, so we're rolling.
Good Lord.
Yeah, sorry about that. I won't do that again.
Yeah, Monica Bellucci just...
Oh, God.
An absolute rocket.
Yeah.
You know? And good for Timmy.
Yeah. And good for Beetlejuice.
Good for Beetlejuice. And good for Monica, because, you know...
She's happy.
She's happy. I hope you know what? I do hope they're super happy together, and I hope they're together forever.
Same.
Yeah. So Beetlejuice. What do you think of this? You said that basically you're like, you want the sequel. This is what I was going to say was that this has a long history of like a sequel being threatened to be made for forever. Like Beetlejuice Goes Hawaiian, I think was the concept that they originally had, and pretty funny. I think that, you know, if they had made that, you know, it's a great idea, great concept, really out there. But for whatever reason, it was just like, it just never materialized. That always got so close and just never actually made it.
Right. Probably for the best. Kevin Smith had joked about that once or twice when he had that the big story around the Superman sequel that he was writing.
Yeah.
And that was one of the projects that was pitched to him. And he's like, really? Beetlejuice, Hawaiian? Did we not tell all we need to from the first film?
Yeah.
Do we have to go tropical?
Gotta go tropical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, even if he goes to Hawaii in this, I'm not mad at it. Let's just see what they do. I'm good with a sequel. It's been long enough. So, you know, now's as good a time as any. Just do it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I'm definitely going to watch it. And I think it does have one of the greatest titles in the history of cinema.
Yeah.
Like, Beetlejuice being the sequel to Beetlejuice is pretty dope. And if they ever make a third movie, like, it's great. It's just a great idea.
Yeah. I'm good with that.
Last one, and a bonus one here. I saw a trailer for The Watchmen, an animated WB animated film. Did you watch that trailer?
I didn't watch it because I don't care. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't need to see an exact retelling of the comic book. It doesn't really interest. They've already kind of done that with live action, and I'm good with it. I'm not going out of my way. Plus, I haven't been super enthusiastic about much of the DC animated films I've seen as of late. So, granted, I haven't been watching as many of them as they have been pumping out, but I did watch the last, Crisis on Infinite Earths, and
I watched Crisis on Infinite Earths Part 1. Part 2 and 3 are out now. And
I just finished 2.
It's strictly for fans. It's completely inaccessible to, anyone who doesn't know what's going on.
Yeah.
Or doesn't have knowledge of that universe, and that's exactly the wrong type of movie to make. Now, maybe that's the movie they wanted to make, and I enjoyed it because you have that background, but inaccessible films is what are we doing here? It just doesn't make any fucking sense.
Yeah. Do you want to make money and be able to continue financing these types of films or not? Because the rate that they're doing it, I mean, I don't know how they are making money anymore other than some Blu-ray sales, but probably off of streaming numbers or something like that. I don't even know what that business model looks like. But the second one's even more incoherent, I found. It fucking jumps all over the place from earth to earth and just story to story. I'm just like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
So I'm hoping the third is better, but I'll watch it. But I don't know. I'm not super excited.
This Watchmen film is not connected. It is a DC animated 2-parter, but it's not it's done in a completely different style. It's actually, the style is much closer to the What If Marvel series It's not actually 2D animated. It's
Oh,
3D
okay.
animated.
3D cell shaded. Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, you can check that one out. The other, like, you haven't seen it, so I mean, it's. Do we need to watch it? I'm gonna watch it, but you know, some things in the trailer, a little bit, they bug me because like the voice of Rorschach is very much like the voice of Rorschach from the Zack Snyder film, where I'm like, okay, you guys could have done something different here.
Yeah.
You could have gone into like maybe more of like the question territory, like how they did the Justice League, like, but they just went the dark, gruff Batman voice, and I'm just like you don't. Why are we copying it?
Yeah,
Let's use this opportunity to do something different. One more, with X-Men 97, what a great animated series. It's super enjoyable. We have a new Batman animated series coming out, and I saw the trailer for that, and that looked fucking exceptional. Yeah, I cannot wait till that thing comes out too.
What is it? Batman, the Caped Crusader, I believe.
Caped Crusader.
Yeah.
And I think it's on Prime. It's going to be on Prime.
Yes, yeah. The trailer looked fantastic. It's done by Bruce Timm, and is it Paul Dini as well, or no? Maybe not.
No, I don't think Paul Dini is.
But definitely it's kind of a Bruce Timm child, I guess, as it were. And I'm very excited by it. I mean, it looks good. I like the voice acting that I've heard so far. If I recall hearing any, I don't know. It's been a while since I've watched that one. To be honest, I would have.
Yeah, Diedrich Bader does a voice in this movie. Okay, and I believe he's the voice for Batman, Brave and the Bold. He's Batman in Batman Brave and the Bold.
Oh, he's perfect.
Yeah.
I love his.
He's Harvey Dent.
I was gonna say I don't think he's Batman in this.
No, he's Harvey Dent. The guy who's playing Batman is a really cool actor that was in Midnight Mass, that show on Netflix called. His name is Hamish Linklater, and I liked his Batman that I heard in the trailer. I thought it was really good.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, like this show, the animation looks great. Looks really good. The atmosphere looks great. You know, like the old kind of with the old cars with the modern tech. Like they've really they've done it again with this kind of merging of timelines, and I think it's just really cool. It looks really cool. I'm pretty excited about this one. I think it would be very neat to have both X-Men 97 and Batman Caped Crusader come out in the same year, and have them both be absolute bangers. And I'm like, oh man, this is just like
a resurgence of our childhood.
Yeah.
I'm good with that.
Just have them both be bangers. Just like that would be really cool. I'm pretty excited.
Yeah. Well, I think I covered it.
Yeah, I think we pretty much did it. We didn't do adult film names for all these movies, but that's fine. I think we can get them next time. Can't win them all.
We can. You know what? When I write up the text for this, you send me the adult film names for all of these, and I will put them in.
I've already got. Well, I mean, you could just write Beetlejuice. That's fine. That's also the adult. I don't think we need to do it. No. Just people jerking off giant beetles. A whole movie, hour and a half.
I didn't like that.
Or two Beatles. I guess 2 Beatles.
I didn't.
Just Beetlejuice.
All right. What else you got? Because that was horrible. You should be ashamed of yourself.
My idea? You don't like my idea of...
No, sir.
People.
I don't like
people.
it.
People.
No,
Pleasuring
sir.
Man-sized.
No, sir.
People.
No, sir. No bueno.
All right. Well, let me think about it. I can't think of it on the spot right now.
All right. Fair enough.
But yeah, no, I think we want to get back into doing this more often. So let's close it up and zip it up and zip it out, as they say.
Well, thank you very much for doing this with me. And we'll do this again next time. This has been Justin.
This has been Atul.
And thanks everybody for listening / watching. Take care.
Peace.
Bye.